Hi, Capricorn Sun and Rising. Welcome to your December 2022 Astro Update. It's Raina here, and this is some of you guys' birthday month. So happy birthday to early Caps. I always shorten it as Cap. Well, not always, but I like to, and I always think that's kind of funny. So there's a lot happening in your sign besides the sun going into your sign. But I'm going to just do things chronologically. There's, one thing that I want to just kind of touch upon is the Mars retrograde, which um, started at the end of October in Gemini, and it's going to be in Gemini the whole time. And for you, this is the sixth house. So this is the area of work and health and your daily routine. Now, some of you may be sidelined by something. Maybe you have some kind of workout routine that you do for your health, and you can't do it for some reason. I hope nobody had any kind of injury. It's so funny because I live in the Chicago area, and they had the Chicago Marathon, and sure enough, like clockwork, a few weeks or a month before the marathon, I see a whole bunch of people jogging all over the place, and I'm a cyclist, so that's my main mode of transportation besides walking. I don't drive, so I see these people because I'm riding my bike, and they're like sometimes jogging alongside the street as well, and uh, some of these people, if you're not in shape and you just start to exercise like crazy, you could injure yourself. So it's really important that you ease into things. But yeah, it's really funny because sometimes, people they want to achieve their goals, which is cool. But hopefully none of you had that happen. But if you did, um, it's a sign from the universe that you need to take it easy, be more gradual with your uh, physical development if you're trying to get in shape, and use the, even another interesting thing about that is sometimes people are very vigorous with exercise, and things like yoga, which is a very feminine type of exercise, might be something that is more suitable for you at this time. And that is not health advice. I'm talking about um, if that relates to what you're going through, because sometimes people, like, they want to lift weights and they are doing this cardio and they're just really, doing all this heavy stuff, and then they, throw out their back or they whatever because they're doing all that, and flexibility is a big deal. The guy that really popularized Hatha Yoga said that flexibility is the biggest sign of aging well, or something to that effect. And that certainly makes sense, because if you can't, if you don't have free range of motion, it's easier also to get injured. So this may be, you might have to be curtailing that activity, and some of you may be having issues at work. So if you had any kind of conflict at work, and you're, maybe there's an uneasy truce, that may feel very uncomfortable in the workplace, or if you were maybe even you have been laid off for a while, but just understand that Mars is going direct on January 12th. So this too shall pass. That's the beauty of astrology, predictive astrology, is that it can show you maybe why certain things are happening, but also that this too shall pass. Um, on the 3rd of the month, Neptune goes direct at 22 degrees of Pisces. This is your third house. And this is really good for dreaming. I mean, Pisces rules the 12th house of the dream state, but I'm talking about dreaming of your goals, having idealism. So this is actually a good thing that Neptune goes direct, because when it was retrograde, you may have been more quote unquote realistic, but that can be actual cynicism for a Capricorn, because you tend to think in those ways that, I have to be, I have to get down to reality here. And reality is like very sobering. But yeah, this might be very good for meditative pursuits, as well as whatchamacallit, like creative writing. On the 6th, Mercury goes into your sign. So this is very good for promoting yourself, having the ability to be on the same page with who you are and communicate that to other people. So, for instance, if you're looking for work, if you're trying to find somebody to date, this can be very good for those kinds of things. On the 7th, the full moon is happening at 16 degrees of Gemini, again in that 6th house. If there has been tension in the workplace, if you're feeling anger towards coworkers that you can't express for whatever reason, you may just decide to leave. You might just decide that you've had enough. There might even be arbitration going on, some kind of legal matter, and that is something that makes you want to leave. But it's possible you could get a promotion. And that might be the result of all of your struggles, is that you feel that you were deserving of something and then you got it. So it all depends on your particular situation. On the 9th, Venus goes into your sign. So you have a lot going on in your sign, but Venus makes you attractive. I can't guarantee your looks will improve, but I will say that being attractive means being a magnet to good things happening for you. So that is really nice. On the 20th, Jupiter goes back into Aries. So now Jupiter is in your 4th house of home and family. And it was there briefly, you got a taste of it. And so it's full steam ahead. And for the next 5 months, you can expect, or maybe it's possible, maybe I shouldn't be too exact about that, but it's possible that you will attract to yourself a bigger house. Maybe there will be an addition to your family. So, in a roundabout way, if you are trying to conceive or trying to get somebody pregnant, maybe that will happen. Or if you want a pet, that's a form of an addition to your family. It's a great time. You can have great luck with real estate. You might benefit from your mother. On the 21st, we have the winter solstice, or down under the summer solstice. That's when the sun goes into Capricorn. So this is a very powerful time of the year. The sun is either being reborn, or it is at its apex, at its highest point. This is your solar return as well, although, technically your solar return is when the sun is at the degree of your sun sign. And believe it or not, that's not going to always be on your birthday. You have to check the ephemeris. Sometimes it's a day ahead, might be a day later, somewhere in that vicinity, though. But you're going to feel as though you're getting stronger because you had that hibernation period when the sun was in your 12th house. You may have felt run down. You may have felt kind of draggy. And then it's like you're springing back to life again. And speaking of that, a couple days later, new moon, 1 degree of Capricorn. So a new moon at a very early degree of Capricorn and in that first house, beginning that cycle. Like technically, a lot of you, you will have the new moon vibes really much stronger with the Aquarius new moon, because that one is at 1 degree as well. And so for those who are, less than 1 degree of Aquarius, it will hit their first house. So it's really more likely that this is the 12th house, but either way, it's in your sign, and that is all that matters because the sun is also in your sign. And this means that you are heading towards your solar return. On the 29th, we have a Mercury retrograde at 24 degrees of Capricorn. So Mercury retrograde, it's going to stay in Capricorn. Sometimes during a retrograde, it can go back to the prior sign, but this time it's not doing that because it's a later degree of Capricorn. So in your first house, this can be rethinking certain things about yourself, how you carry yourself. That's what the first house represents. So especially for the rising sign, this is a big deal. Maybe the way that how you interact with other people. And there might be other reasons why, because you have Venus in your sign too. So you may be even kind of sprucing up your physical appearance in order to make this, create this impression that you want to create for whatever reason. It could be in different areas. Like, for instance, if this is your love life and you're like single and you're like, hey, you know what? I want to get back into dating. And you kind of assess yourself and you think, I'm a little bit set in my ways. I want to kind of spruce up my image a little bit. Or if this is related to your, looking for work, you may think that you have to be more warm or spontaneous and try to incorporate that into your communication style. In order, because you're looking for work or something like that, and you're trying to show your human side, because Capricorn, and this would be both the sun and the rising sign, but the rising sign, it really does, give that certain facade if you're not really like that. But Capricorn can be a rather business-like type of sign where you are very serious and you might come across as professional, but you don't necessarily show that softer side. So you might be thinking about these things during December for whatever reason. Okay, that's what I have for you, Capricorn. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a personal reading, I am promoting my double readings. My deep dive readings are a special value because you're buying a package deal. 1 hour of natal chart interpretation, 1 hour of transits for the upcoming 12 months, which just so happens to be 2023, which is a year that I'm very excited about. I'm very stoked about 2023. And it's always when you're having your solar return, it can be, or even, if the sun is crossing over into your first house, if you're Capricorn rising, it can be very interesting to see what actually is transpiring for you. So you can find out more information about my readings at the link below. Um, and have a great month. Take care.